Сейчас будет рассвет. Вот он. Прямо он. О, какая красота, а? Смотрите. Солнышко. Вот солнце взошло над нежною землей, и вновь берега окутаны приливом. Пахнет сосновою смолой и скошенной травой. Клин журавлей над головой, ну или пеликанов, а значит мы живы. Пахнет сосновою смолой. Как красиво, а? И скошенной травой, клин журавлей. На таком красивом рассвете улыбаются и взрослые, и дети. Я вспоминаю, как девушка одна со мной жила. Мы с ней катались, и с ее сыном, с нашим сыном. Кто там плывет? О. Поплыли. Вон человек плывет, вон плывет кто-то, как я. Сегодня воскресенье, 15 октября. Интересно. Я вчера рассказывал о чем-то. О нервах, о медитации. Как эти двое вчера медитировали. А потом я вдруг почему-то перешел на волны. Потом на поэзию. И все. Но к чему я вчера говорил насчет медитации, кстати. Люди, которые живут во лжи. Очень много лжи. Вот что я всегда с трудом понимал. Зачем следовать каким-то формальностям, как, допустим, что-то кушать, что-то не кушать, религиозные какие-то каноны и обманывать друг друга. Мне рассказали, что лучше что-то хоть соблюдать. Если есть какие-то там 10 правил, то если какие-то не соблюдаешь, как, допустим, честность или что-то другое еще, или, скажем, кто-то вор, но он молится, кто-то так плавает. То есть это все равно, говорили мне люди, лучше хоть что-то делать, чем ничего. Это не так. Это отнюдь не так. Потому что это лицемерие. Человек лжет, причем преднамеренно, но ходит по субботам в синагогу. Вот у меня друг такой есть. Вот он ведет себя не самым, скажем, дружеским образом. Люди плавают на досках. Интересно. Не узнаю этот силуэт. А, какой сегодня океан. Какая птица летит. Посмотри, посмотри, посмотри. Обалдеть. И зато он ходит religiously. Каждую субботу. У него там встречи. Каждый четверг у него встречи еврейские. Они обсуждают Тору. Кто это? Интересно. А потом мне не звонит годами. Ну, надо это делать. Да, не надо. How you doing, brother?
How are you? Making your film.
Huh?
Making your film.
I'm making a movie, yeah.
Yeah, you told me.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
We were paddling before?
A while ago.
Wow. You live in Beach Club, right?
Yes.
You don't do this too often, no?
Not too often. Only come here every couple of weeks.
I do it every morning.
Very nice. Very
Huh?
fun.
We should do it together one day.
Yeah, we should.
What's your name?
Derek.
Derek?
Yes.
Abraham.
Abraham.
How far do you normally go?
Not too far. Maybe a little bit further than this.
See, I used to go quite far, and then I go now maybe like a mile, sometimes two. I keep paddling, and next thing I know, I'm like a mile away, 2 miles. Mile is only 15 minutes. Like right now, we're probably what, like, I guess a fifth of a mile. Nah, maybe less.
Maybe, I think I've gone double the distance of this.
Yeah, it's, you got a nice, this seems pretty fast.
It is.
We
Do you
should,
want to go further?
huh?
Do you want to go further?
Let's go.
Okay.
I didn't mean to impose.
No, it's good.
Some people. Are you okay that I'm making a movie?
I don't mind.
I've been doing this for a while, and I find it in so many ways. I find it useful. I don't even know if useful is the right word, because I speak of certain things. It's like people write a diary, and I have a diary when I talk, like, oh, because at times we all they say in Russian, you can't deny yourself a pleasure of talking to a smart man. How humble.
Well said.
Your thing is
It's broken.
it's
Yeah.
loose, huh? I see.
Yeah, unfortunately. But it's okay.
But I think if you tie the screw, there's a screw. It's not broken. Plus,
I
you
don't
know,
have the tool though.
you know what it is also? It's inserted opposite way. Reinsert it, yeah. Now you'll feel way different. At least that way. No, but the thing is that the screw is loose.
Yeah, that's true.
But
It's okay. I'll fix it later.
And now what you gotta do is hold it. You see, you holding it this way. The right way is this way. You feel how it's gonna lay in your palm.
Like that.
The other way around.
Like this?
Yes,
But it's backwards now.
that is actually see. It's actually the right way. Because I know it feels like the scoop is this way. Intuitively, people say, no, but this feels like I'm scooping it. Nah, it's actually this way. It'll feel much, it feels much more natural after a little bit, because if you do the scooping this way, it's like it pulls up. Well, it's like you're scooping up.
Ah, I see.
And also the palm will lay very comfortably.
It does.
Right?
I feel it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Been doing it wrong for a while.
I've been doing it, huh?
I've been doing it wrong for a while.
And you get used to it that way, and next thing you know, plus if you put that screw, oof. I think there's the screw that I have a screwdriver in my bag, but
It's okay.
Yeah.
And what's your film about?
What's
What's your movie about? Yeah.
Well, today I was, it's whatever happens. Like, for example, yesterday I was talking about these. See, there's so many subjects. There's a couple of my buddies. Well, actually, yeah, one of them is a bit more closer. My neighbor. We have a bit of a falling out. So I saw them yesterday, 2 of them, meditating on the beach. Before I paddled, I saw them 2 sitting and doing some breathing from one nostril, the other nostril. And I've been studying a little bit of that myself. I don't know, do you have any experience in meditation?
A little bit.
But not like a pro.
Not like a pro.
Not like a pro. Me neither. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for a short while. Yesterday I did 16 minutes,
Yeah.
which is a silly thing to even say, because it's like I'm trying to time myself and see if I can do longer, because it's a challenge to sit still for a prolonged periods of time. It is a challenge. How long can you sit? Huh?
Have you done yoga?
I've done a little bit of yoga, not a lot. You did a lot of yoga?
I've done it for a while, yeah.
For how long?
3 years?
Oh.
Not consistently, but I've been doing it every once a week at least.
Maybe if you do yoga, it comes more natural.
Yeah, I think so. With music in the background, you know, with meditation.
How long do you normally meditate?
30 minutes?
So you sit quiet, like peacefully, quietly?
Yeah, you don't have to sit down though. You can lay down in any position you want.
Well, see, there are certain...
Obviously not sleeping, but...
Because if you lay down, chance of falling asleep becomes a significant chance.
Yeah.
If you sit unsupported, that's the whole point, because falling asleep becomes nearly impossible, which people a lot of times report, when, especially if they're not experienced, and especially if they're tired and haven't been sleeping well at night. If they lay down and try to meditate, they often fall asleep, which
It should be like the opposite though. It should give you rest, but without falling asleep.
it should be the...
It should be energizing when you finish. You should feel like energy.
Well, what kind of energy are you supposed to feel?
Like after a run.
But
Definitely.
you think so?
Yeah?
Oh yeah, I should say, you feel so?
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of meditation you do, but the actual mechanism of meditation, I don't know, have you studied how it affects our brain? Like what happens in the brain?
I don't know.
So, because I study, so on a neurologic or neurobiologic level, we change our brain waves. We have several types of brain waves. Beta, maybe you've heard of them. Beta, alpha, theta, and delta.
Studying medicine, I know a little bit.
Oh, so you study medicine?
Yes.
So do I.
You do?
I've been studying medicine since 1991. Haven't stopped. Haven't stopped for, so how long has it been? 32 years. 32 years I've been studying medicine. What are you studying to be?
I want to be a doctor, but usually more on the natural side, you know?
Interesting that we meet. That's what I've been leading to, because I am a conventional physician.
Really?
Yeah, but I've been also looking in more of a, as they say, non-conventional, but non-conventional is actually very conventional. It's been thousands of years of traditions. These modern things are scientifically based. Modern Western medicine is anything but conventional.
Yeah.
And it's all drugs and disease oriented. It's how to fix diseases. It's not how to stay healthy.
Exactly.
So it's a problem oriented field.
So what'd you study?
I am a critical care, pulmonary, internal medicine. That's what I. That's
right
what
now I'm 17, but I've been in the pre-medical program
I.
since
You're 17.
11. So I've been doing 6 years of like basic medicine. Now I want to go to university next year. So
Wow.
that's the plan.
You said since 11 you were doing what?
In my middle school and high school they had a medicine program. So
Wow.
I've been doing that.
That's interesting.
So,
That's
7 years now. I've taken like 9 classes.
what kind of physician do you want to become?
I'm not sure anymore because I wanted to become orthothoracic surgeon, but
Cardiothoracic?
yeah, but I'm not sure I want to be that anymore.
What made you decide?
I want to have a life. Yeah,
That is true.
it's difficult.
I have a couple of friends who are cardiothoracic, so quite a few actually, but a couple of close ones. Life, the way we understand it, is not what their lives are challenging, because that profession, it's like I don't even want to imagine because it's a lot. I mean, it is a challenge and an accomplishment to become a cardiothoracic surgeon. But man, they're like, oh, a lot of them are miserable.
You think they're miserable?
A lot. I know,
Yeah.
because, well, miserable may be too strong, but they're just,
They're not enjoying life.
they have no time.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, a surgery is so demanding. The actual surgery is anywhere from 3, 4 to 6, 7 hours. That's like an ordeal. It's like a marathon. You stand there for 6 hours with meticulously trying to reconnect vessels in the heart. Then these people are so sick, and then they die on them. Oh, it's a nuisance. We take care of them in the ICU, and then they call us in the middle of the night so the surgeons can sleep. But if really bad problems happen, they call surgeons too. That's this. I hated working in, well, cardiothoracic, because I feel a little bit clueless because I'm not a surgeon. So anything major, I gotta call a surgeon.
But you were critical care, yes?
Huh?
You were critical care?
Yeah, I am a critical care. I work in the intensive care unit.
You still do that?
Yeah,
You enjoy it?
I enjoy it different now. In these 5 years, certain things happen in my life and certain transformations took place. So I enjoy not doing much, coming to my ICU where I work and just letting people be, and not talk about all this craziness that we do with the tubes and machines, but just let people know that they're getting better no matter what, and they're healing, and tell them to, as fast as they can, try to get out of there.
Yeah.
And not think of all the different drugs and problems and kidney failure, heart failure. A perfect example, I would come to a bedside of a lady and I see she's smiling, and we say good morning. 10 minutes later, I look at her, she's crying. I said, what happened? Why are you crying? She says, oh, cardiologist came. She says, my heart is failing. I'm like, whoa. He didn't mean it. He didn't mean it like that. Or better yet, my heart has failed. This is it. I'm like, he didn't mean it like that. Well, he said I have heart failure. Well, we have a disease called CHF, congestive heart failure. It's basically saying that the heart is weaker than optimal. The ejection fraction, you may have heard of it, it's called ejection fraction, is how vigorous the heart is pumping. The pump, normally it's, and that's another thing, normally it's 55 to 60%. In other words, from the original volume, heart pumps halfway. It contracts halfway. It doesn't contract 100%. It's normal. It just goes like this.
Yeah.
So that's normal. So if someone is having, let's say, 40%, it's what, 80% normal? It's slightly diminished. 40 is okay. 30, okay, it's a little bit more. It's like moderate. So maybe a person would be told, oh, your heart is only 30%. They're like, whoa, I'm dying. Say, first of all, it's 30 out of 50. And second of all, this condition is really called not in a good way. In Russian language, for example, we call it coronary insufficiency. That's a little bit better.
Yeah, not heart failure.
Not heart failure, kidney failure. Well, it's a bit more specific, but still, see how people, and it's, you know, tell that to an 80-year-old or a 90-year-old, they already know that they don't have a lot left.
Yeah.
But my grandpa, his valve is narrowing. He says, my heart is closing down. I say, It's not closing. It's okay. You're 99. You're doing great. So yeah, this is what I enjoy now, because I go there, I tell them, listen, let's all think about something interesting. Let's think about the beauty.
Yeah.
All them lovely nurses.
Yeah. So.
And then they laugh. And the heartbeat gets better and the blood pressure gets better.
You have to heal the body, not treat it.
Exactly. And all these negative emotions, working in an intensive care unit, it's ridden by all that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just an air of disease. It's the most sick place. Most doctors don't like to come there because it's just an aura of death. Because people come there to die. So what kind of doctor you want to be?
Well, it's gone up and down. I'm not sure. For a minute I wasn't sure I wanted to study it. But I think I want to go in the medical field, so become like holistic medicine doctor.
Holistic?
Yeah, like all body.
See, it becomes a challenge because, you know, we all want to also make a good living.
Right.
Or at least a good enough living. If you go to school, if a person goes to school for many years, let's say, and becomes, let's say, a math teacher, or even a math professor, that takes 8 years to become a PhD in math, or some other PhD, biology. So then he goes and teaches in the university biology or whatever, and then they pay him pennies comparatively speaking. They don't make a lot of money, teachers.
That's the thing. I want to study also business on the side, because my grandpa, he's a big businessman, so I want to follow something similar as well. I want to do medicine to help people, but business to make money.
The thing is, it's very difficult to combine the two because they're opposite.
Really?
Well,
you think so?
Think about it yourself. Business is a battle. You're basically, it's a jungle, survival of the fittest. Whoever is the hungriest, whoever is the alpha. Business is a competition, and you see, I'll share something with you.
Okay.
According to ancient writings of Hindus, they call them Vedas. La vida, you speak Spanish? Sí, so la vida is the same as, comes from the same root as ver, or in Russian, vedat is actually to know, like deep knowledge, not like, oh, I know multiplication table. No, that's just superficial, but I'm talking like sabiduría, deep. So Veda, ¿ah? Si vamos a considerar calidad de su inglés, vamos a hablar inglés, porque es más fácil para mí mantener nivel de esta conversación, because my Spanish is not up to par to my English.
Your Spanish is great.
I appreciate it. The thing is, with my Spanish, I don't feel it as intimate as English. I can speak it, but I don't know how I even sound.
You sound great.
I appreciate it.
Coming from a Mexican, you sound good.
I think we met in the gym probably.
No, I met here.
Oh, on the pedal.
Yeah, I was with my sister. We were 2 paddle boards.
Oh yeah. I remember, because now I'm trying to. It comes back to me.
Yeah, it was a while ago, but we don't live here all the time. We come here like every other weekend.
Oh, I see.
Whenever I come, I love paddle boarding.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. We should do it together.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So what I was saying to you is, and you see why certain things are like these energies, they're on many occasions they're like counterproductive, or they're against each other. So for example, according to those Hindu teachings, and they're like, they date back to 6, 7, sometimes people say even 8,000 years ago, even pre-biblical. So there are 3 levels of being in a material world, 3 levels, and you can apply it to every aspect of life. The lowest level is called ignorance. That's Examples of ignorance is self-destructing behavior, smoking, drinking, drugs, stealing, violating all those, you know, commandments, principles, killing, wars. It's all ignorant behavior in a way of just destruction. So for example, if I smoke, that's ignorant. I may not know, I mean, maybe I'm just haven't read the book and think it's okay. Like a lot of kids, they're ignorant without even knowing they're ignorant. They're oblivious to being ignorant. And I don't mean, see, ignorance is by itself, the word means oblivious, but I mean ignorance in a way of just doing destructive stuff. So if I decide to go in the business of selling drugs, harmful, like cigarettes, that's ignorant business. I will never, as a person, reach harmony in my life. Selling weapons of drugs or something that causes harm to others, even though it's not causing harm to me, I am spreading harm.
Right.
So if I have a family and I cheat on my wife blatantly and maliciously, it's just not gonna work. People will get hurt. It may not be visible, may not be obvious, but it's happening because it's just energy. Right. So people say, oh yeah, I don't believe it. Say, okay, don't believe. It's happening, whether you believe it or not. So the second level, which is a bit, it's quite nicer, it's called passion. And I don't mean passion, it doesn't mean passion like romantic passion. It means passion of basically a desire. If I can use one word to describe that level, it would be like in the movie Matthew McConaughey. They asked him, he played some mogul. They say, how would you describe yourself in one word? He said, oh, that's easy. More. I want more. And that's greed, but people can just be, yeah, they can be just passion, not so much like, oh, I want to be like that King Midas who wanted so much gold. I mean, you may remember, yeah, you touch everything. That's a metaphor for greed. And bottom line is, money cannot buy us love. It's a fact. It buys material stuff, which by definition is not what makes us harmonious. We don't crave material things for harmony. We crave them for comfort, for mental whatever. So business by definition is at that level, because business's goal is to make profit.
Depends on how you look at it.
It's the only way that business works. Because I'll give me an example of a business that you feel it doesn't fall into this. Because the next level is not what business is about. Next level is higher. It's called benevolence. And business is not a benevolent enterprise. No business. If you're gonna be doing benevolent business, you're gonna be out of business. Simple. The competitors are gonna destroy you because you're not gonna be passionate. You're gonna be benevolent. Benevolence don't pay. It actually, it's very financially, it's a very wasteful endeavor. Not in a wasteful, but it doesn't pay. Like if I want to heal someone, if I take his money, if I charge, the more I charge, the less I'll heal, because I will be providing a service, not a healing. Healing.
With the hospital.
Well, that's why hospitals, by definition, energy-wise, they cannot heal, truly heal. They can fix a problem, just like a mechanic.
You want to start turning around?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. We are like probably what, a mile?
Probably.
So give me an example of a business where you feel that it's not geared in that way.
No business, but I feel like you can make a positive impact to people's lives.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying that business is all about money. No, like for example, people build buildings. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Or they make furniture. No, there's some great business I mean, everything we see around us is some type of business,
Yeah.
but it's geared in a concept of more.
You think? Concept of war.
Huh?
In a concept of war.
More.
Oh,
More.
Yeah.
For example, what business are you interested in becoming a part of or becoming great at?
The fitness industry.
Fitness. So you want to build gyms, let's say, right? Okay, so that's a beautiful thing. Now, question becomes, will you do this even if you don't get any money for it? You won't do it.
No.
Exactly. So then it makes it a business thing. So you care ultimately, primarily, not ultimately. You may actually enjoy the process of making a gym and seeing people work out in your gyms.
Right.
And owning a gym, let's say, which is I would probably love to own a gym as an idea. I have a friend of mine who owns a gym in Costa Rica. Beautiful gym. He takes care of it, it's like his baby. He doesn't even, the profit that the gym makes in Costa Rican small town, that's not what he's after that much. He does make sure that it's profitable, because otherwise he'd close it. But he just likes the idea, building something and having people work out and having a bunch of friends and visiting his gym and working out there. And I actually worked out in his gym for a whole week when I was there. Beautiful gym.
Yeah.
Like really raw in like in a good sense of it. So once they stop paying, you close the business. So you do this for money. Ultimately,
One has to go out.
Huh?
One has to make profit to live in this world.
but see that, but it's not gonna make a person happy. It's not gonna give him true feeling of fulfillment, I should say. He may be happy. He may have a few million in the bank, 10 million, buy a nice house, that's pleasant, buy a nice Mercedes or even a Maserati like I did once. I had a Maserati. Guess what? I was miserable. Not because of Maserati. I was just going through a miserable time in my life.
Oh, what's happening?
I'll tell you a quick story. So you see what money can and cannot do. So let's rewind. October 15th, 2010. 2010. That's 13 years ago. Okay. I'm chill. I'm what? I'm 37. I'm 50 now, so I'm 37. Lovely. I'm happily married. Well, you know, we got a few bumps here and there.
Alright, but happily married.
Happily married. Yeah, I'm like really happily married. I come home. I love my home. I have 4 beautiful children. They're all like, well, if my oldest is 19 now, he was minus 13, he was 6. And my youngest was 1, because she's 14 now. So they're all this beautiful age, 1, 3, 4 and a half, and 6. They're all like lovely little babies, beautiful. Once I start mentioning babies, you fall.
I'm okay.
You good? Interesting how it happened when I was talking about babies. That must be you wanna create a family soon. And it stresses, the idea stressed you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I tell you what happened. So I've been chill. I had an Audi at that time, Audi A6, just to tell you my car. And my wife had a Honda Odyssey, and she was bitching, saying, "Oh, you give me this old woman SUV, not a what do you call it? Like what do you call the Audi Odyssey, Honda Odyssey,
I think so.
minivan." She had a
Yeah,
minivan,
I know what you mean.
and she hated it. Well, she pretty lady. She was a model. She was an ex-model.
Wow.
She still is. Anyway, so we live in Hollywood right there. Had a nice modest house. Nothing posh. Just like back then it was like $500,000. Now it's probably close to $1 million. Whatever. Beautiful lake in front. Swan swimming in the lake. You know, I got a job that pays me $1 million.
What
Cool. Medical. I was a consultant at Aventura Hospital. Yeah, and I hardly did anything. I found a particular position. I was just chill. You come in from anywhere from like 9 to 1, 10 to 1, literally for like 2, 3, 4 hours, and not because I could have done it. What I did, I could have done it in 1 hour. It was easy. I saw 10 patients, and a bit on a weekend, and all that made me $1 million. Very little, because I was self-employed. I was a consultant, so there was no middleman. I was billing insurance direct. So every time I see a person, it would be like $300, $400, $500 direct for like 10 minutes. That's what insurances pay for critical care. Some insurances, Medicare, I think paid close to 200. But a visit itself is a person is on machines. You come to, hey, there's nothing going on. Okay, tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow. They're all like cooped up. They're on a cruise control, autopilot. You know, intubated 85-year-old. There's nothing going on. She's just slowly dying. A very lucrative death. A system makes millions on these people at the last month of life. I think what I read. 10-20% of medicine, so like 20% or something is spent on the last year of life.
Wow.
Something crazy like this, because we are really going at it to just make people survive for a few more weeks, a few more months. For what? Just so they stay in the ICU with tubes. Crazy. Having said all this, I have friends, barbecue, all my friends have, I have children, we have like families, friends. We got nannies. They used to live children with us because we always have a nanny, and I have my family in New York, my mom and dad, my brother who's having a young family too. We're traveling the world. We're going to Paris, we're going to ski, we're going to cruises, going driving around. I got some other things on the side, you know what I mean, normal things.
Yeah.
Right. And in fact, I had a lot of my first wife, I hate the word ex, she was at those times quite liberal in letting me be. And it was a challenge, because it's not something that society looks warmly upon, but she was quite a flexible woman at the time. And that was interesting, because most of my family was like, whoa, you're that I was like, yeah, because we are like that. And she was also trying to be liberal, and it was a challenge, but it was interesting. It wasn't boring. Scandals sometimes, this and that. I used to drink quite a bit, but within a reason. A little bit of drugs, a little bit of weed, a little bit. I had a year or two of loving ecstasy, like once, twice a month. It was I would not recommend it to anyone, because it's too good. It's a love pill. You feel love, but it basically releases a lot of serotonin, floods your brain with serotonin, dopamine, and then you feel depleted. And not right away. It hits you. Maybe that's one reason why I got depressed, because maybe I was doing the ecstasy for like a year or two, like once a week. I mean, like 2-3 times a month I would do it. I tried to to be like weekends. Anyway, fast forward a little bit more. 2014, exactly I was following May of 2014. It hits me. I go to New York with a couple of my older kids, and I'm like, I visited my old high school flame. She got married to this big time urologist. Her father is a millionaire. I just spoke to her the day before yesterday. Pretty sad how her life is having certain challenges too now. I was so envious. I was for some reason always envious of her, because she was all this rich. Her father was a great businessman, and she was always like very wealthy and very powerful and always like dominated me. We had a fling and we remained friends, but I always felt dominated by her, and I hated that. Felt inferior for some reason. Always. Even when we were dating, when I was, what was I, 6? I was 16. She was probably, well, in my first relationship, but nothing really even happened. We were just trying to, I couldn't even kiss her because she said that I wasn't kissing right. So I always felt like self-conscious, and I was like, just the whole thing wasn't working. And then we reconnected in our 20s, and it was already different because we were older. So the technical parts were smooth, but still it was this, something was not right. She was just very dominant, and I don't like to be dominated like that. No man likes it when a woman is so dominant, right? No. Especially if she has a certain reason, like financially she's very successful, and I was a medical student and she was running multiple businesses, you know, just, and being very humble about it too. But she had a mansion, and I'm like, my parents are pretty humble, lived in an apartment, and I come, she's like a freaking mansion. Whatever, I don't want to even get into that. It's not the point. That's not the point of the story. Point is, I visited them, and I remember I go to Brooklyn because they live in Brooklyn. They got this, now she got a mansion with her husband. The husband is like the big shot urologist. He's my buddy. And it was May, but their mansion had like, I remember a couple of things. It had an elevator inside. Wow. Yeah, so it's like a 3-story with the basement. So it's like a 4-story thing, but an elevator. That's crazy. Yeah, and heated floors. Heated floors. Yeah, because, well, it's New York, so it's not a big deal. Even the elevator is not such a big. You can build an elevator. It's not a big deal, but it does sound impressive. And I'm like, whoa. And, you know, jealousy's there. Natural. We're all jealous. Having said that, at those times we were becoming pretty destructive. Our relationship was becoming dysfunctional and destructive, and it just coincided that way that I saw them very friendly, very nice, and having this beautiful empire. 3 kids they have. They have 3. We got 4, same ages. This woman is always like drilling, like whatever. And that was the start when I started having my depression. You know, a lot of things happened, but that was one of the elements that kind of like pushed me over the brink. Bottom line, all the things I mentioned. Then I had Maserati. I leased a Maserati Ghibli. I was having all the things I mentioned: money, freedom, 40 years old. This was 10, now it's 10 years ago. 40 years old, 41, 42, successful, you know, making great money, living in one of the most beautiful places in the world, but depressed and suicidal because my relationship with my wife was basically falling apart, and obviously with my whole family. So I left, and then I came back, because when I left, I actually lived here for like 4 months, 5 months. This was the summer of, so what, 5 plus 3, 8 years ago. Yeah, I left something, yeah, I think it was 2015. So I couldn't, I went home because the loneliness got to me. I was lonely and scared. Loneliness sucks, man, and it's a bitch, and it's not even natural to be. It's not something people say, oh, I love my solitude. No, solitude is not a natural state for a human being. We're not meant to be alone by nature, so it's harmful. They've done research on it. Being alone is actually harmful. Not to say that we should all cling to one another. No, we should be able to withstand challenges like this instead of clinging. That's why you see all the toxic relationships are actually the reason why they exist, because people have fear of loneliness. They are afraid to leave. It is scary to lose everything children, house. So I did leave, and this was 5 years ago. Ultimately, after several attempts, I did leave. We divorced, and I lost everything I mentioned. I lost all my money. I went into negatives. I was borrowing money from my parents. I lost all of my jobs. It just so happened. I lost all of my friends. Like all. There's not an exception. Except for one person that I'm still close to, is my grandpa. It's the only one. I lost connections with my mom, with my dad who recently passed away. I appreciate it. July, it'll actually be 3 months and 2 days. On 17 it'll be 3 months. My brother lost that one. How
come you lost all of them?
Because I started talking a lot of shit. I started talking a lot of truth. Call it shit. Like I lived with a lady once. This was actually 5 years ago. And I said, Katza, her name was Katza. She's a Haitian, beautiful. She was a visionary. She was a witch. She saw things from future, from past. A lot of vision, yeah. A lot of brujeria, but in a very deep way, in a good way. She taught me a lot. Yeah, women see. I say, Katza, I started talking shit in the morning, like, because she and I were connected so deeply. She goes, Abraham, it's too early for this. I'm like, Katza, this is the truth. She goes, well, it's too early for the truth. Bottom line is, I lost all my friends, all my money, all my jobs, the house, the Maserati, whatever. I didn't care too much for Maserati. It was pissing me off to even have it because I was so miserable. It's like having a beautiful car and not being able to enjoy. It's like when you go on vacation and you're depressed, like, fuck, excuse my language, but like, I'm here and I can't even enjoy it. It's double annoying because you should be able to enjoy it, but you can't because you're depressed. I don't know if have you ever felt depressed?
A little bit.
Yeah, so you know the feeling. Even a little bit is a lot, because it's something that is so unlively. It's like unlive. It's like anti-life, because you feel like you're not living, or something's. People say, oh, it's just mild. I say, it's miserable, even mild, and it doesn't feel mild. When you feel sad, it feels real sad.
Yeah.
There are three, actually, depression, there are 3 levels: mild, moderate, severe. So my bout, I had 2 bouts in my life. One I'd say was mild, because I wasn't even taking any pills. It was in my mid to late 20s when I was being a medical student, finishing up medical school. Was just a long time. And then that episode in my 40s that lasted 4 years. Each one lasted around 4 years. But that feel like I was dying. I had a suicidal thoughts, and I was on a lot of pills I couldn't sleep. I lost my sleep. Like the thing was going 24/7. I was thinking how to get out of this, how to make myself. I was regretting not marrying that lady from Brooklyn. I'm like, my brain was broken. It was irrational, regretting everything I did. It's horrible. So that's considered moderate. I said, well, I told my psychiatrist, I said, moderate shit feels like I'm dying over here. Because, well, you're not hospitalized, and you're not.
It's yourself.
Huh?
You can't treat it. It's something that's in your head.
Well, there are ways to treat it, but it's, again, and this is what I've been doing for 5 years. I'm sharing with people how to recognize. I can tell you, for example, in your life, what's happening right now, in any life, not just yours,
Yeah.
that is leading a person toward disharmony, which is a start of depression. Because if a person isn't, like I was disharmonious in so many ways, having everything. If you think of what I had a dream, my life was made. People told me, look at you, A, B, C, D. You're like living in a lap of luxury here. What are you like? What are you bitching? What are you? You're people like that. They're unthankful. You gotta thank God. You gotta thank. You have beautiful children, you have a beautiful wife. Okay, so you have some issues. I say, some issues? She put me in jail when we had issues. For only a couple of days, but I'm saying it wasn't a very peaceful marriage, but a marriage. Very tumultuous, I mean, considering how we lived. She'd break a chandelier in front of me, and you know, when she was feeling it. Bottom line is, I was living in this harmonious life. And it took and no money. This is what made me go into this. None of this. You would, like, if I described this type of life, you'd say, whoa, I would like that. Beautiful family, $1 million a year for something that you barely even do. Maserati, living in Miami, like, what else can somebody want? Suicidal. And then losing all of it, living here on the beach alone, well, having relationships, but you can see I'm by myself. For 5 years I've had dozens of relationships, living with ladies. I'm by myself most of the time. And living on the beach for 1.5 years, no job, no money, literally in debt. And then they threw me in rehab because I was well, not that, I'm an alcoholic in recovery. I've been sober for 3.5 years. So,
Very proud.
yeah, thanks. So I was drinking all my life. I didn't even know I wasn't like an alcoholic that would be plastered, not severe. I was moderate. Because, well, moderate. I mean, I was having blackouts already. It got from mild to moderate. So all that rehab, no money, no job, no. I haven't spoken to my kids since then. I mean, I've had a few conversations, but 5 years I haven't seen them.
Wow.
That's a lot. That's a lot to bear. And having all these people say, how you so happy? I say, well, it takes a certain experience and a certain path to learn to be happy in the face of hardship. Because most people, when they see my life now, I'm by myself. I've been estranged from most of, well, all of my family except for Grandpa.
Hey, Grandpa.
And he's a beast. That's why he's 99. Because I don't give a shit. People, they tell him not to talk to me because I'm poisonous.
Oh.
Because
I don't think so.
I appreciate you saying this, but well, certain things I say are anti-system, so people feel that this is a poison. Whatever.
How you liked it living off the system, like you said? Because I was thinking of taking a gap year before I go to university and just camp and go around America, like by myself. I think that would be nice.
That'd be beautiful.
You think?
I don't think I know. It may be one of the best years you'll ever have in your life.
Before I settle down and, you know.
Just go around. Every great man. And that's what I gotta do too. I've been doing it a little bit, but I keep coming back. As Christopher Columbus once said, for us to be able to find a shore that's never been found, we need to have no fear of losing the sight of our own.
Because my mom thinks I'm crazy that I want to like camp on the roof of my car for like a year. Once.
Camp in your car?
Yeah. Well, it's like you get a tent that goes on top of your car, and then you camp on top of the roof of your car. You park anywhere.
Like literally, like you sleep on the roof.
Well, it's like it's like a mechanical tent that we pull out from the top of your car, and you can sleep there.
But not literally on the top of the car. On the top of the car.
Yeah.
Like on the roof of the car. Well, I never seen it.
I'll show you a picture of it.
But the bottom line is like a tent.
Like a tent, yeah. It's camping. Go around.
And where would you go?
Along the shore.
Huh?
Along the coast. Maybe
What are you
surf,
looking for?
paddleboard.
What are you looking for to find?
I don't know.
But this is the thing. What they recommend is to realize what you're looking for, because if you don't know what you're looking for, you won't find it.
You're right. I guess I want to experience the difference in culture and life.
So, for example, what culture that you want to experience? Because you're gonna be in America, right?
Well, I maybe want to go to Europe and do this.
Okay, so you're gonna go to Europe
I think so.
and be where?
I don't know. Visit family because I haven't been there.
You have a family in Europe?
My family is all Dutch and German over there. I haven't connected with them a lot, so I can go and
Yeah,
see how it's like to live over
but
there.
I tell you something. That family and you don't have too much care for each other. None of you cares, basically, and that's just what it is. It's not bad or good. They don't care about you. You don't care about them. Not in a mean way. It's not that they're mean people. It's just they have their own life. You have your own life. They haven't exhibited any interest because of just the way humans are. Oh. So you'll see them. Nor if it's an usual way, a person will see their family. It'll be nice for maybe a week, two, and then people are gonna go their own ways, and a person feels like they're out of place. Because do you have a close person there that you're really, really close to? Nah.
Not really, but they all seem to care because we haven't been able to for outside reasons.
How often do you speak to them?
A couple times a year.
And that's care.
That's true.
No, man. You know how often, let's say, I speak to my grandpa?
Every day.
Every day. Sometimes twice a day. And he's in New York, and I visit him every couple of months. But people who we really care about, we see them, we live with them, we see them. If they're far, we talk to them a lot. Like, we're connected. Like, they will know how your morning went. Like, they will know about this. That's close. That's how we are meant to be with the ones who truly care about us. This is called family or a close friend. Like, if you had a close friend and we, let's say, connect on some level, become friends, like, I would meet them quite fast. Like, you would meet my friends if we're close.
Right.
But this day and age, who's close?
No one.
Almost, it's a very rare exception if a person in his life or her life has a person that's really, really close. Like, I'm talking like right here. No secrets, no not, just everything. That's a very rare. I spoke about this with a buddy of mine yesterday. He lives here, great guy. He's in early 20s. Told him, you have no friends. He goes, damn, you know what? Sounds pretty sad, but you're right. Oh, he goes, I talked to a lot of my friends, and then none of them is your friend. See, when I say things like that, a lot of people take offense to it. Say, how do you know?
No, you're right.
Huh?
You're right. You're not wrong. People don't usually have that many close connections. They're
None.
close
It's very rare. Because, and I tell you how I know it. Sometimes I meet a person, once in a blue moon, I meet a person who's an exception. But exceptions are rare. I crave it. Because I've always, in my life, I've always craved closeness with people. Because it's just natural for me and for everyone. People are just blocked off. So I've always craved it, and I always wanted to be, even back in the day when I wasn't getting all this knowledge from all these different places and becoming old, like, hopefully going through this awakening period. Even then, I always gravitated toward meeting people, introducing people. Like, all of my friends back from my childhood friends, 90%, if not all, met through me. Like, I met one, and then I met another, and then I met the third. Now they're all friends, but because something happened, they're not my friends. I mean, we're not friendly now, but I'm saying they all are connected through me. I'm the one. I know it because I always connect people.
I do the same thing.
Right? So that's why, see, we connect. We are like those.
We all live in a close community neighborhood. So everyone was at war basically with each other, and I connected everyone.
By the way,
Like
what is your name? I don't even.
Derek.
Oh yeah, you told me Derek. Sorry, yeah, you mentioned it. Abraham. Derek, where do you live, by the way?
Boca Raton.
That's where my ex. Well, I hate the word ex. My first wife and kids live there in Boca.
Oh, where?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know where they live.
Huh.
I mean, I can look it up. I have their address. People say you should go see them. I say, go see them. We'll have a fight. We'll have a physical fight. And they won't even open the door. They can't even pick up the phone. They've changed the phone numbers.
Really?
Yeah, they're toxic. And I was. See, they became toxic in a very passive-aggressive way, more passively toxic, just not wanting to see me. And then I got pissed. I became openly toxic. Like I cursed the living lights out of them. Well, because I wanted to see them and they were refusing. So I said, well, F this, F this. All of you are saying, I curse you. You are cursed. That's it. Simple.
How old were they?
Well, when this started, the oldest is 19 now. He's almost 20 in a couple of months, in February. So he was 15. And the youngest was 9. She's 14 now. It's been like this. It's not about the age. People say, oh, they're young. Hopefully he sees us. You know what I feel sometimes? Yeah, they're all cool with them jet skis and all these motorized. But once that motor dies, guess what? I had them. They're like stuck. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And I'm on this. This does not get stuck.
Yeah. I like the paddleboard. It makes me feel at peace.
Oh, if you try what I do every morning, well, camera, it adds to it. It's like, again, we didn't mention, I didn't finish the 3 levels, I'll tell you. So, according to those teachings, the way you really interconnect with the universe is 3 ways. They all like 3 ways. So 1, you get out. You basically, what you and I do now, you get out. As they say, get into his temple. Well, I call him, her, Mother Nature.
Right.
That's her temple right here. It's not man-made. We are in her temple. And the energy that we get from that it's unfathomable. And it's now, considering how many elements the primal elements are here. There are 4, you may remember. Water, earth, fire, and air. Everything. Well, we are on earth, not literally, but the earth is right there.
Yeah.
We are on water, that's on earth. Fire is right there, shining at us. And air, obviously. So we're all 4 elements. And we're absorbing now. Not just, they say, not to just get out, but get out and do something. Like be active. Like paddle or run or walk. Don't just sit there. Basically, what if you see, the book says, the guy who gives a lecture, he says, go in the park and see who's in the park. There's only 2 types of people. People with kids and people with animals.
Right.
So the kids and the animals pull people, adults, to go to do just this, what I'm saying, because they're still very naturally oriented and they run around. What do the kids and animals do? They just run around. They do it naturally. So now we are, you know, sedentary and all this. We got to actually think about this. And when you're out there, give it a thought that you're actually out there and you're doing it. And whoever prays, whichever way, just in a way pray to this, because that's a beautiful thing. Yeah. And it gives you huge energy. That's number 1. Number 2 is interact with one another. So when I have no one to interact with, I interact with the world. Say, how you doing, people? What's up? And I'm sharing my feelings and my experiences, my thoughts, my being. And it's interesting because I have a YouTube channel. It's called Formula of Love, and I have so many videos.